Stop, take a deep breath, look straight at the uncomfortable truth. You are not lacking intelligence, you are lacking focus. Every time you open your phone, you trade a piece of your life for a few seconds of cheap entertainment. Every time you say later, you are signing another contract to delay your dreams. You think you are in control, but you are letting notifications control your emotions, letting short-term desires drag your future through the mud. Today, you do not need motivation. You need a wake-up call. Ask yourself this: if focus is a weapon, who is holding it? You or your habits? If someone else controls your attention, they control your entire life. There is no neutral ground. Either you choose your goal, or the environment chooses it for you. Either you build a wall to protect your focus, or you sit there watching it slip through your fingers like water. This is the moment you draw the line. You have already tried the gentle ways. Pretty to-do lists, timer apps, caffeine, those tricks only make you feel busy. They do not make you useful. The brutal Stoic truth is simple: no action, no result, no discipline, no freedom. You cannot live two lives in one body, one life of dreams and one life of procrastination. Choose one. If you stay until the final second of this video, you will receive a clear set of rules to sharpen your mind and double your focus. No cliches, no fluff, only principles and action. But before we begin, there must be a promise. Place your hand on your chest and say out loud, "From this moment on, I will protect my attention as if it were my own life. If I break this promise, I take full responsibility. If I keep it, I earn the reward. Distraction has stolen too many years from you. This ends now." Take another deep breath. Sit up straight. Fix your eyes on one point. Turn off everything unnecessary. When you are ready, we will enter the 10 Stoic Truths. And when you emerge, you will no longer be the same person. This is not a stroll. This is the initiation of a new warrior. Do you want temporary peace or true strength? Decide right now. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Now. Part 2. You are ready to change. But before entering the battle against distraction, you need one guiding truth. Stoicism is not the philosophy of dreamers. It is the ancient science of action. It was forged on battlefields and palaces and prison cells, places where only those who mastered their minds survived. Marcus Aurelius did not write to survive a day at the office. He wrote to preserve reason in the chaos of imperial war. Epictetus did not discuss philosophy for entertainment. He built an iron spirit while living as a slave. Seneca did not speak of discipline to sound superior. He warned that losing focus could destroy an entire life. Every word they wrote was born from the same reality you face today: humans being pulled by small, meaningless distractions. Today, we call it social media, notifications, cheap dopamine, but its nature is identical to what they fought against: fleeting desires, easy stimulation, laziness disguised as relaxation. Do not think that being modern means you are immune. You are simply repeating history under a new disguise. Here's a scientific truth you must know. The human brain is wired to chase the fastest reward. Short videos, quick messages, constant scrolling, all are rewiring your brain to lose the ability for deep focus. Studies show that every time you multitask or check your phone in the middle of work, your brain performance drops as sharply as if you had been awake all night. You think you are in control, but in reality, you are trading your intellect for momentary stimulation. Stoics called it slavery to emotion and desire. Science calls it a loss of cognitive control. Both point to the same truth. If you do not protect your attention, you lose humanity's greatest power. That power does not lie in muscles or luck. It lies in the ability to keep the mind steady amidst the storm of distraction. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb you, but the way you allow your mind to react to them." That means distractions only have power when you hand them the keys to your mind. You see a notification, you tap it. You hear a vibration, you respond. You are not being chained by visible shackles, but by invisible habits. If you want to focus like a warrior, you must cut those chains. In ancient Rome, the unfocused died quickly. Today, the unfocused die slowly, dying in passion, in career, in willpower, in every second of their lives without even realizing it. How many opportunities have you lost to distraction? How many goals have you postponed with the words, "I will do it tomorrow"? Every time you do, it is a knife to your own future. But here is the truth that should restore your faith. The brain can be retrained. Focus is not a gift, it is a skill, and like any skill, it is built through discipline and limits. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Whoever controls themselves rules their life. Now treat this video as mental training. Every truth that follows is a sword you will forge. Every small action is a strike against the monster of distraction. If you apply them seriously, you will change so quickly that even you will not believe it. No more vague philosophy, no more empty theory. We are about to enter 10 sharp truths to increase your focus by 200%. You will fight for your own future. From this moment, treat your attention as sacred property. Anyone who touches it is an enemy. If you agree, we begin. Truth 1. Your time is limited. Do not waste another second. Have you ever looked back at a day and realized you achieved nothing meaningful even though you started with a clear goal? You know you need to focus, yet the moment your phone buzzes, your willpower vanishes. You promise yourself just a few minutes and suddenly an hour has disappeared. Guilt takes over and you convince yourself that tomorrow will be better. But tomorrow always looks the same. Today is just a copy of yesterday's failure. That is the tragedy of wasted time. Seneca once said, "The only time that truly belongs to us is the present." Yet you act as if you have infinite days to make up for the minutes you have lost. The frightening truth is this: everyone knows they will die, but most people live as if they are immortal. You fear deadlines, you fear aging, yet you freely hand your time to cheap videos, drama, and meaningless news. Every second you lose focus is not just a second gone. It is a stolen piece of the person you could have become. No one is sabotaging your dreams. You are, through small, seemingly harmless delays, you are turning yourself into a victim of distraction and easy habits. Imagine this: if you waste just 1 hour every day on pointless things, you lose 365 hours in a year. That's more than 15 days without sleep, spent scrolling aimlessly to satisfy the brain's craving for dopamine. Do you really want to look back at your life and realize that most of your waking time was spent watching others live instead of building your own life? Stoics do not demand that you live in extremes. They ask you to live with awareness, to know what you are doing and why. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let your life be stolen piece by piece without even realizing it." If you do not know where your time is going, you have already lost it. No one took it from you. You gave it away. Here lies the paradox. The things that help you move forward are hard to begin, but they make you proud of yourself. The things that pull you backward are easy, but they always leave emptiness and regret. The brain always chooses easy before hard, but life only rewards those who do the hard things first. Every trade has a price, and you are paying too much for cheap rewards. It is time to change. Do not wait for a new year, a Monday, or a special date. Life changes only when you decide to change, right now. Small, consistent actions are stronger than grand plans left unfinished. Winners are not the loudest. They are the ones who refuse to delay even once more. Here is a truth like a slap to the face. Every time you procrastinate, you are choosing a worse life. Every time you focus, you are investing in a stronger version of yourself. There is no gray zone. There is no neutral. You are either moving forward or falling behind. And in a world this competitive, standing still is failure. So what must you do right now? Simple, but not easy. Turn off every unnecessary notification. If something does not serve your goal, it does not deserve access to your attention. Your attention is sacred property. You must protect it at all costs. Start the moment you finish this section. Do not delay another second. Ask yourself this: if today were the last day of my life, would I want to spend it doing this? If the answer is no, stop doing it. If the answer is yes, then do not delay. That single question can change your life, if you dare to answer honestly. Now here's the first declaration I want you to comment below to claim control of your time. I use my time to build my life. Are you ready to move on to the second truth? Once you understand how to control your attention, you will begin to master your life. Truth 2, you are not lacking focus. You are lacking control over attention. You have always believed you are easily distracted, but here is the real truth. Your ability to focus is still there. You are simply giving it to the wrong things. You can watch a 2-hour movie without touching your phone. You can play games for 3 or 4 hours straight without taking a break. You can scroll through short videos until the night ends. Your focus is not weak, it is misused. Epictetus said, "You become what you give your attention to." If you give it to knowledge, you grow stronger. If you give it to fear, you grow weaker. If you give it to distraction, you become addicted to it. Your enemy right now is not ignorance or laziness. It is the small, repetitive things pulling you away from the path you chose. Look around. The world is paying to capture your attention. Tech companies hire the smartest scientists to hack your brain. Every swipe, every vibration is designed to pull you back in. Notifications do not appear randomly just when you try to focus. It is strategy. You are the product. Your attention is the market. You are not losing focus. You are being exploited. And the most painful part is you are allowing it. Your brain was once a hunting tool, built to focus intensely on one goal to survive. But in the modern world, the target has been replaced by instant stimulation. You are working, then you think of a message. You are studying, then you wonder what someone posted. You are talking to a person in front of you, but your mind drifts to the screen. You are never fully present anywhere. This divided attention makes you live halfway, work halfway, and chase your dreams halfway. You cannot build anything solid if your mind keeps getting dragged away from the present. Each time you switch tasks, your brain needs between 15 and 23 minutes to return to deep focus. Multiply that by the number of times you check your phone each day. You are stealing hours from yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You are greedy for the time of others, yet you waste your own." You crave results, yet you let your attention drift like a boat without a rudder. If you cannot control 10 minutes of your attention, how can you expect to control 10 years of your life? Here's a harsh truth. Nothing exhausts you more than being constantly pulled by unimportant things. You start something, then jump to something else. You live in a state of being busy, yet unproductive. That is the modern paradox, full of activity, empty of progress. You were running in circles, not moving forward. The Stoics never allowed their minds to wander aimlessly. They trained them like warriors sharpen swords, precisely, decisively, directed only toward the ultimate goal. You must learn that now. Deep focus is disciplined freedom. When you can pour your entire attention into one thing, you become dangerous. In the best way, you become unbeatable by trivial distractions. So what must you do? A mandatory action after this chapter. Work deeply for 25 minutes. Rest for 5. Do not touch your phone. Repeat this 4 times. You will witness a miracle. Your mind will learn to stand still in the storm of stimulation. If you do not believe you can, ask yourself, why can I focus perfectly when I am entertained, but lose focus when I am building my own life? The answer is simple yet painful. You are prioritizing feelings over the future, but everything can change if you change what you give your attention to. Teach your brain that the goal is where the energy goes. Every minute of focus is a brick in the foundation of your future. Every minute of distraction is a brick thrown away. From this moment, be vigilant with everything that demands your attention. Does it deserve it? Does it serve your goal? Does it make you stronger? If not, cut it out completely or postpone it until after you finish your most important task. The one who controls their mind controls their destiny. The one who lets their mind be controlled becomes a slave to the lives of others. Choose which one you want to be. Now, I want you to engrave this truth by commenting below. I choose what I give my attention to. And next, we will move into the third Stoic truth, where you will face an even harsher reality. Comfort is killing your strength day by day. Are you ready? Truth. 3. Comfort is killing your ability to focus. You were taught that comfort is the reward you deserve for living, but do you realize that this very comfort is making you weaker little by little? You wake up in a soft bed, and your body wants 5 more minutes, but those 5 minutes always turn into 30, and then an entire morning is stolen. You sit down to work, but the plush chair sinks you into laziness. You choose the path of least resistance and you pay for it with your own focus. The modern world represents peak convenience. With one tap, you have food, entertainment, conversation, everything. But convenience never creates strength. Convenience is a smooth-talking deceiver that lures you to stay inside the comfort zone, then robs you of your hunger to conquer. Focus is forged by friction, by challenge, and by discomfort. If your life is too easy, do not be surprised when your willpower becomes as weak as wet paper. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca wrote, "We grow weak when we seek only what is easy." Roman warriors trained in cold, in hunger, and in pain. They understood that comfort does not produce the undefeatable. You are not fighting on a battlefield, but you are fighting a more poisonous enemy, your own softness. Think back to the times you were determined to do something important. You planned to work for 1 hour, but the soft pillow, the cushy chair, and the phone within reach pulled you away from your target. You are letting tiny sensations dictate your entire life. The most dangerous part is that you think it is normal. It is not. It is proof that you are surrendering a little more every day without noticing. You want to focus like a warrior, but you keep building a nest for laziness. You say you want success, but you behave like someone who wants things to be easy. Here's the harsh truth. You cannot live like the weak and expect the results of the strong. The muscle of your will is shrinking because you have never trained it properly. Marcus Aurelius deliberately exposed himself to cold and to discomfort so that his mind would not become a slave to comfort. He understood this. If we can only perform well under perfect conditions, then we are victims of circumstance. Do you see yourself in that? If the environment must be perfect before you can work, what will you do when the world turns upside down? Focus requires mental energy. That energy comes from training with small daily hardships. Every time you choose easy over hard, you send a signal to your brain, I cannot tolerate inconvenience. Every time you choose hard over easy, you train your brain to say, we were born to be strong. The question is, which signal are you sending more often? Science also shows that physical conditions have a strong impact on focus. An environment that is too comfortable shifts the nervous system into a restful state, lowering alertness and draining energy needed for long-term goals. You do not need to live like an ascetic, but you must create enough friction so your mind knows you're on a mission. Mandatory action. When you work, stand up or sit on a firm chair. Lower the room temperature slightly. Remove anything that makes you too comfortable. Let your body understand that you are in execution mode, not relaxation mode. The body leads the mind. When the body is in a fighting stance, the mind becomes sharp. Ask yourself one question and answer it honestly. Do you want an easy life or a life you're proud of? Because those two rarely walk together. If you choose easy, you must accept an average future. If you choose to train in difficulty, you will earn the rarest prize, self-respect and inner strength that no one can take away. Remember this, comfort only has value when it is a reward after effort. If comfort is the default, it becomes a chain. Many people are living like prisoners in their own rooms, chained by soft mattresses, chained by habits of lying still, chained by easy choices. Do not let the premise of comfort become your life sentence. Are you training yourself like a warrior, or are you petting yourself like a child? Are you feeding strength, or are you feeding weakness? Never forget, comfort is a silent thief. It never robs you all at once. It takes a little at a time, and by the time you notice, your future has been hollowed out. I want you to post this declaration to break the spell of softness. I choose hard so that I become strong. When you do this long enough, you will rise to a different level. You will no longer fear difficulty, you will seek it, because you understand that difficulty is the signal that you are moving in the right direction. And that is the next Stoic truth you are about to face. In the next chapter, you will uncover another more subtle enemy: too much thinking and too little action. If you are ready to shed the shell of comfort and face challenge head on, we move forward. Truth 4. Overthinking equals not acting. How many times have you built a perfect plan in your head and then done nothing? You draw clear goals, you write step-by-step details, you buy a beautiful notebook, you search for productivity apps, you watch a pile of videos on how to focus, but everything stays on paper. Your mind is busy, but your life is stuck. This is the deadly paradox of our age. People mistake heavy thinking for progress. The truth is this: without action, every thought you have is worthless. Procrastination is not a lack of information, it is an escape from action. The more you think, the more you fear. You start imagining failure before you even try. You worry that you do not know where to begin. You wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment never arrives. Each time you wait, fear grows. A day passes, then a week, then a year. Important things are buried beneath pretty but lifeless plans. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not let your life slip away in mere talk." Human beings are not judged by intentions, but by actions. Seneca warned, "While we delay, life speeds by." You think you are waiting to be ready, but in truth, you are waiting to become weaker. The longer you wait, the less you trust yourself. Look at the things you intended to do. How many times did you tell yourself you would learn a new skill, write a book, train your body, build a personal project, or simply finish a task you knew could change your life? Then came the excuses. "I'm too tired today. Tomorrow's fine. I should research more." These justifications sound reasonable, but they are masks for the fear of failure. You are not acting because you know that action comes with risk. If you act, you might fail. If you act, you might discover you are not as skilled as you imagined. If you act, you must face the fact that you have wasted too much time. So you choose to think. Thinking lets you hide from that truth. Thinking makes you feel like you are moving forward, but you are only running in circles inside your head. Epictetus said, "Do not talk about philosophy, live it." The Stoics despised empty reasoning. They respected only deeds. One small thought carried out is always stronger than a grand plan abandoned. Why keep lying to yourself that you need more preparation? You do not need more preparation. You need to begin. Face this. You will never feel fully ready. Action creates readiness, not the other way around. The more you think, the easier it is to be paralyzed by choice. Your brain is wired to protect you from danger, and any new action is a kind of danger to comfort. You must push through that layer of instinct in order to make progress. As inaction is the most skillful thief, it does not snatch your time violently. It quietly lifts minutes from you without leaving a trace. You do not feel regret immediately. But one day, you look back, and all you see is remorse for the things you never began. You need a pivot, a shift from thinker to doer. Simplify everything, choose one task, and start immediately. You do not have to do it perfectly, you only have to do it. In every battle, the first strike is the hardest. But once you strike, momentum begins to build. Do not calculate 10 steps ahead when you have not taken the first step. Act right now. Pick the task you have postponed the longest and do it for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. You will notice that 10 minutes will turn into 30, then 60. Not because you are forcing yourself, but because action awakens a power inside you that you did not know you had. Ask yourself, do you want to be the person who talks about what you will do, or the person who talks about what you have done? Those two people live entirely different lives. You must decide which one you will be. If you are serious about change, make this your public commitment. I act first, I think after. Write it in the comments as a declaration of war on procrastination. Do not just whisper it in your head. Let the world know you have begun to act, because the next chapter will expose an even larger enemy, those tiny distractions that seem harmless but are actually hollowing out your focus from the inside. If you keep your old way of living, you will keep losing before the real battle even begins. It is time to leave the zone of thinking and step into the zone of fighting. You have thought long enough. Now it is time to work. You know, when you are ready, we enter the fifth truth. Truth 5. Every distraction costs you 23 minutes to return. You think picking up your phone for 5 seconds does not matter? You think you can glance at a notification and jump right back into work? Unfortunately, your brain does not work that simply. Science shows that every time you are interrupted, your brain needs 23 minutes to return to its original depth of focus. So imagine this. If you check your phone 10 times an hour, how long does it take you to truly focus? The ruthless answer, you do not focus for even a minute. Have you ever wondered why you work all day and still finish nothing? Why you feel constantly busy yet make no real progress? Why you end the day exhausted but cannot point to anything meaningful that got done? That is what it looks like when distraction wins. When you do not lose in one moment, you lose in 1,000 tiny moments scattered through the day. Distraction is like a steady drip of water that carves through even the toughest stone. It does not arrive like a storm. It arrives in silence. It arrives in the gentle buzz of your phone, in an unimportant message, in meaningless news, in the way you allow anything to cut into your time. And then a day is gone, a week is gone, a year is gone. You grow older but not wiser. You live long but not deep. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You cannot master anything if your mind is yanked by every vibration around you." The Stoics treated each distraction as a strategic failure. The unfocused lose their targets without even noticing. No one needs to sabotage your life. Just let distraction do it for them. Every time you are working and your hand automatically reaches for your phone, you are programming yourself to be a slave to a bad habit. Every time you stop to check a notification, you send a signal to your brain that the goal is less important than a momentary hit of stimulation. That is how you destroy deep focus, the only ability that takes you to the top. Stare at this uncomfortable truth. If you cannot focus for 30 minutes without touching your phone, your willpower is in serious crisis. Average people make excuses. "I am only checking for a second." The Stoic warrior says, if it does not serve the goal, it is not allowed to interrupt. Distraction does not just take time. It shatters the continuity of thought, severs the creative thread, and breaks the architecture of effort. You are climbing a mountain, but every few steps you jump back down and start again. You think you are moving forward, but you are only returning to the same starting point. Neuroscience explains that when you shift attention, the brain must rebuild its internal map of activity. This is the switching cost. That cost is why the more you allow distraction, the worse your memory, the worse your creativity, and the worse your intelligence appear. You are lowering your own intelligence simply because you do not know how to say no to the small things. Do you want to know how to tell the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful? It is not talent. It is not luck. It is the ability to protect focus. Successful people do not react to everything that comes at them. They choose carefully what deserves attention. Unsuccessful people do the opposite. They let the environment control them. Act right now. While working, keep your phone in another room. Do not put it on the desk. Do not put it in your pocket. Do not see it. Do not hear it. If that is not radical enough, switch on airplane mode during work hours. Winners do not exist to be constantly available to others. They exist to be available to their own goals first. Ask yourself, is the phone my tool, or am I the tool that serves it? That answer might define your entire life. You cannot build a fortress while leaving the gate wide open. If focus is a sacred temple, then every distraction is an intruder. Show no mercy. Do not negotiate. Do not retreat. Each time you defeat distraction, you reclaim power. Each time you give in, you tighten the chains another notch. Declare this so that you must hold yourself accountable. I am the master of my attention. Write it in the comments. Not for fun, but to affirm your warrior identity. Because the next chapter will hit you with an even heavier truth. Without discipline, every goal is a fantasy. When you are ready to upgrade your will to a higher level, we move to Truth 6. This is where many people stop and quit, but not you, not the person who is still watching this video up to this minute, not a Stoic warrior. Section 6, without discipline, every goal is just a fantasy. You set goals, you write plans, you tell yourself you will change, but what happens next? The goals stay on paper, the plans stay in your head, and your life stays exactly the same. Why? Because there is no discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and result. Without that bridge, everything you want is just an illusion. We all know that feeling of burning motivation at night that completely disappears by the next morning. Last night, you wanted to become a stronger version of yourself. This morning, you just want to sleep a little longer. That is when discipline surrenders to emotion. Emotion always wants the easy path. Discipline always demands that you pay the price before receiving the reward. Epictetus said, "Do not promise yourself what you cannot keep." The Stoics considered promises to oneself sacred, but how many times have you broken those promises? You said, "Tomorrow I will exercise. Tomorrow I will learn something new. Tomorrow I will focus seriously." And yet tomorrow looks exactly like today. You have betrayed yourself so many times that you no longer trust your own words. When you lack discipline, you build an image of yourself as someone unreliable. And if you do not even trust yourself, who will. Every time you set a goal and then procrastinate, you are sending a message to your brain that your words mean nothing. That is how you slowly destroy your self-respect. Modern people make a huge mistake. They believe motivation is what leads to success. But motivation is the most deceitful thing. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, however, is the foundation that never changes. True warriors do not wait until they feel like it, and they do it because they decided to. It is better to take action without motivation than to wait for motivation forever and do nothing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do what is right whether you like it or not." Emotions are not a compass to guide your life. If you only act when you feel comfortable, you will never achieve anything of real value. Deep focus, a stable career, a healthy body, and a sharp mind all are rewards for those who choose discipline over fleeting emotion. Discipline is not a prison. It is the gateway to freedom. When you have discipline, you have the power to choose your future. Without it, you are pulled around by your emotions like a puppet. Those with discipline understand that true freedom is the ability to control one's own actions, not to do whatever one feels like. Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, am I living by my goals or by my habits? You want to focus 100%, yet you allow yourself to scroll through your phone whenever you feel uncomfortable. You want to change, but you keep every habit that weakens you. You want to win, but you refuse to fight. Remember this, every day you do not train your discipline, you are training your weakness. You are never standing still. You are either moving forward or falling behind. If you allow yourself to take it easy once, the second time will come faster than you expect. The habit of quitting is built on tiny repeated decisions. The solution is not as complicated as you think. Start with one simple thing. Do one right habit every day and track it. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to show up. You do not need to do a lot. You just need to not quit. One little check mark on your habit tracker each day will create a chain of discipline you will not want to break. Take action now. Choose one single habit that helps you become more focused. Meditate for 5 minutes, read for 10 minutes, or do deep work for 25 minutes. Write it down and do it for 7 straight days. No excuses, no negotiations with yourself. If you miss one day, get back immediately. Ask yourself in silence, am I living according to what I say? If the answer is no, then it is time to turn your words into action. Discipline is a muscle. Every day you train it, it grows stronger. Every day you skip, it weakens. And in this world full of distractions, only those with discipline can break through. Now, comment below your warrior declaration, I believe in my discipline, because if you believe it long enough, you will become the person worthy of that belief. But do not relax yet. There is a more dangerous enemy waiting for you every single day, cheap happiness. That will be Stoic Truth number 7. If you are serious about mastering your mind, do not stop here. Discipline is only the beginning. We must cut out the things that are draining your future minute by minute. When you are ready, we move forward. Section 7. Cheap happiness is stealing your future. Why do you struggle to focus? It is not because you lack ability. It is because you are addicted to small, instant rewards. Cheap dopamine is like cheap sugar. Easy to consume, easy to crave, and easy to destroy you. You see a notification, you swipe, you get bored for a few seconds, you open short videos, you feel stressed, you scroll to escape. You are using short-term pleasure to cover long-term emptiness. People often start their day with determination, focus, discipline, progress, but by night they find themselves drowning in meaningless content. You did not choose that. You were led there bit by bit. Every time you touch your phone, distraction wins a battle, and every win for distraction is a loss for your stronger self. Seneca warned us 2,000 years ago, cheap pleasures make the soul weak. But today, cheap pleasures are no longer wine and parties. They have evolved into short videos, likes, comments, and endless entertainment at your fingertips. You no longer need to leave your home to destroy your focus. Just open your screen and everything is ready to pull you away from your goals. You do not notice it because cheap dopamine does not arrive like an enemy. It arrives like a friend, always there when you feel slightly uncomfortable. It whispers, come on, take a break, watch a little, and you listen. Not once, but hundreds of times a day. That is how bad habits manipulate you. Through comfort. But look at the result. Every time you choose easy pleasure, you are digging a deeper hole for your ability to focus. You're training your brain to expect immediate rewards, making you impatient with long-term efforts that require deep concentration. Behind every moment of procrastination hides a harsh lesson. Everything valuable in life requires patience and consistent effort. You want to build a career, you want a healthy body, you want a sharp mind, but all of that demands that you go through boredom, discomfort, and moments when you want to quit. Cheap dopamine does the opposite. It gives you the feeling of victory without the fight. It makes you feel like you are growing while you're actually falling behind, and it gives you an excuse not to do what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not chase pleasure, chase purpose." The Stoics knew that those addicted to momentary pleasure would never own a meaningful life. You might laugh while watching a funny video, but that laughter moves you nowhere. Each short-term laugh can cost you long-term disappointment. Science has proven this. Cheap dopamine causes emotional numbness. It forces you to seek stronger stimulation just to feel the same. The result, valuable activities like reading, exercising, and learning start to feel boring. You think you lack patience, but in truth, you have been reprogrammed. Ask yourself one question. Am I chasing progress or am I chasing comfort? The answer will reveal which side you belong to, the builder or the consumer. Builders endure discomfort to earn their rewards. Consumers trade their future for a moment's pleasure. Which one will you choose? Take immediate action. Do a 60-minute dopamine detox every day. No screens, no social media, no entertainment. Focus only on your most important task. During those 60 minutes, you will feel the discomfort of withdrawal, but if you push through it, you will recover the sword of focus buried under layers of stimulation. You cannot defeat the cheap dopamine monster if you invite it into your house every day. You must close the door, you must starve it, and soon it will grow weaker. Write this declaration in the comments below. I quit cheap dopamine. Because if you do not, the next chapter will have no effect. You will keep postponing your goals until a perfect day, a day that might never come. But if you do this, you will understand one of the most powerful truths in Stoic philosophy. Awareness of death makes you more focused than any technique ever could. The eighth truth will strike straight into your heart. Memento mori, remember that you will die. And that realization will force you to live real, act real, and focus real. If you are ready to face that ultimate truth, we continue our journey. Section 8, you focus better. When you know you will die, memento mori. There is one truth that people always avoid. You will die. Not someday, in a vague way, but on a very real, specific day, maybe sooner than you think. Each of us carries a silent countdown clock, yet we act as if we have endless time to fix things, to start, to change. You procrastinate because you believe there will always be another chance. But what if today were your last full day alive? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." The Stoics did not speak of death to scare you. They spoke of it to make you live. They understood that everything becomes meaningful only when you realize it will end. Focus becomes sharp only when you know time might run out tomorrow. You had big goals once, but you said, maybe tomorrow. Then tomorrow looked just like today, and today is just a copy of all the wasted days before. You wait for a better moment, but the best moment is while you are still breathing. When you realize that each day could be your last, you act immediately. You stop letting fear hold you back. Think of the moments when you almost lost someone forever, or when you faced illness or an accident. In those moments, everything becomes crystal clear. What truly matters: family, dreams, unfinished work, the person you want to become. All trivial distractions vanish instantly. That is the power of memento mori. It crushes every excuse. Epictetus said, "Do not act as if you were going to live forever." Yet, how many times have you behaved like you have unlimited chances? You rewatch the same old videos, scroll through meaningless content, let your attention be drained bit by things you will not remember 5 minutes later. If death stood beside you at that moment and asked, "Was this time worth it?" could you honestly say yes? Death is not an enemy. It is the strictest teacher reminding you that every minute lost will never return. It forces you to say no to nonsense. It pushes you to focus on what truly matters. It teaches you to live each day like a warrior racing against the edge of your own existence. Return to the simple but terrifying question: if today were my last day, would I still want to spend it doing what I am doing right now? If the answer is no, you're living wrong. No one needs to judge you. You already know it. The Stoics look straight at memento mori every day, not to feel sad, but to feel grateful and focused. They woke up treating time as a gift that might not be given again tomorrow. That is why they refused to waste it on distractions or trivialities. They acted as if every second were their last chance to move toward the life they wanted. You say you want to change. You say you want to focus, yet every time you procrastinate, you are gambling with the assumption that you still have time. Are you sure? Do you really want to bet your future on something so uncertain? Act now. Write down the 3 most important things you must do today, and start the most important one immediately. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for peace. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do it because you know time is passing mercilessly. Do not live as if you had 2 lives. You have only one, and it is fading. Now ask yourself, what mark do I want to leave if today were my last day? If you do not have an answer, your mission is to find it right now. If you already have an answer but have not acted, then you are betraying yourself. Write this below to silence every excuse. Memento mori, I act today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And if it comes, what will make you proud is not how many videos you watched, but how many steps you took forward. The next chapter will discuss the power of your environment, the silent force shaping your destiny without you realizing it. If you have accepted death as real, then you can begin to live real. When you are ready, we move to the 9th truth. Section 9. Your environment determines your ability to focus. You can have determination, you can have big goals, but if your living environment is working against you, you will fail. Not because you are weak, but because you are fighting on hostile terrain. Look around your desk: messy scraps of paper, a phone always within reach, a chair that's too comfortable, a screen with an entertainment tab already open. You want to focus, but everything around you is designed to pull you away from the work. That is not a lack of willpower. That is a battle for which you have not prepared the battlefield. Seneca once wrote, "The waste of time does not come only from ourselves, but from the people and things we stay close to." The Stoics understood that the mind is shaped directly by the physical context. If the environment is chaotic, the mind will be chaotic. If the environment is full of entertainment cues, the mind will lean toward entertainment. If the environment creates friction for focus, the mind will be pressed to focus. Think back. Where do you focus best? Is it in a library where everyone works in silence, or in a quiet coffee shop where the only thing happening is creation and work? The presence of other people working pulls you out of distraction. Humans mirror their environment. If you live among lazy, procrastinating people, you will become like them without even realizing it. You cannot expect to become a person of deep focus while surrounding yourself with things that distract you every 30 seconds. Your environment must answer one question: does it make you stronger or weaker? If it does not support you, it is sabotaging you. Ask yourself, why do the best performers keep their workspaces surprisingly tidy? Why do top athletes live by strict schedules? Why do creative geniuses isolate themselves for long stretches to finish their work? Simple. They understand that environment is a thinking support system. It is a launch pad. It is a fence against distraction. And it is the place that shapes a serious attitude toward continuous action. If your bed sits right behind you, your mind will want to rest. If your phone sits right beside you, your mind will want stimulation. If your screen is open to social media, your mind will want to scroll right now. The environment is never neutral. It always pulls you in one direction. Marcus Aurelius said, "Rule your mind before you attempt to rule the world." But to rule your mind, you must start with the place where your mind lives, your physical space. If you do not organize your environment will organize you. Act right now. Turn your desk into a battle zone. Keep only one mission that must be completed. Remove everything that does not serve the goal. Put your phone in another room. Place a note in front of you. This is the only task. When you sit there, your brain will understand this is not a place to relax, and this is a place to work, a place to defeat yourself. If you want faster progress, change your social environment. Around people who are focused and disciplined, you will automatically raise your standards. Around people who make excuses, you will learn to justify your own weakness. Ask a ruthless but necessary question. Who am I becoming because of the people and things I stay close to? If the answer worries you, that is your signal to change. Nothing is more dangerous than an environment that slowly teaches you to accept giving up on your dreams. Make a declaration to lock in responsibility. I build a warrior environment. Write it in the comments to confirm that you have just upgraded your battlefield, because if you do not change your environment today, you will keep fighting under conditions that guarantee you lose. The next chapter will help you connect everything you have learned. Even with the right environment, you will go nowhere if you do not know the goal you are fighting for. And that is the final Stoic truth. Without a clear target, the mind has nothing to focus on. If you are ready to raise your sword and point at the real enemy, uncertainty, we continue. Section 10. Clear goals equal sharp focus. You cannot focus if you do not know what you are focusing for. Many people feel they lack motivation and focus, but the real issue is that they lack direction. Without clear goals, the mind wanders, and willpower gets poured into small, meaningless things. A person who does not know the destination will go anywhere, and usually in circles. Seneca wrote, "If you do not know which harbor you are heading for, no wind is favorable." That line is a mirror held up to your wasted time. You wake up with no specific target for the day, and then you are surprised when you end it feeling like you accomplished nothing. What are you waiting for? A sign? A reminder? Someone to show up and tell you what to do? No one will do that for you. Without goals, you will choose the path of least resistance. The phone, entertaining videos, anything that gives instant dopamine. The brain likes clear targets. It needs to know the why so it can pour energy into the how. If you are vague, your brain will be vague. If you are scattered, your mind will fragment. If you are blurry, your results will be blurry. Do you ever feel strangely discouraged without knowing why? That is the symptom of living without direction. You can be busy all day and still feel empty, because busy is not the same as effective. Busy gets you nowhere if it does not move you closer to your ultimate goal. You do not need to do more. You need to do what matters. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, do the work of a human being. That means doing the things that bring you closer to your core values, not the things that drag you away from your true nature. So what is most important to you right now? Can you answer immediately? Or do you need a few minutes to think? And then your phone pulls you away before you find it. Look at what you do every day. Do those actions bring you closer to the person you want to become? Or do they just help you run from what you know you must do? Many people live as if they are only experimenting, but never truly begin. They set goals that are too vague: wealth, success, happiness. Vague goals do not create concrete actions. You cannot focus on an abstract concept. You can only focus on a clear task. Ask yourself this: if I could complete only one thing today, what would make me proud when my head hits the pillow? That single answer is your goal for the day. You must choose one supreme goal for the next 90 days. 90 days is long enough to create real change and short enough to feel the pressure to act now. Define it clearly. What are you fighting for? Health, career, knowledge, a project that creates real value? Then break it into daily tasks you can actually complete. Each completed task is a brick that builds the empire of your future. Act now. Write down one single goal for the next 90 days and the 3 most important tasks for today that move you toward that goal. Do not write 10, do not write 20, only 3. Because if everything is important, nothing is important. You could spend your whole life wishing to become someone, but if you do not choose a direction, you will never arrive. The mind only becomes sharp when it has a single point to drive into a clear target. No goal equals no focus. No focus equals no fools. So ask yourself clearly, once and for all, where am I going? If you do not know, You must stop and decide now, not one more minute of hesitation. Now declare your purpose in clear, powerful words. I know the direction of my life. Write it down as an unbreakable commitment. It is not just an affirmation, it is the milestone of someone who has chosen to live on purpose. You have reached the 10th truth. You are no longer the vague, shattered, scattered person you were at the beginning. From the next chapter, we move from tactics to identity, because the Stoic warrior does not just do the right actions and they become the right person. You are ready to enter the climax, the rite of transforming your identity. If you are still here, you belong to the very few who are truly serious about their lives. Part 4, Climax, the rite of transforming the warrior identity. If you are still here now, you are not ordinary. Ordinary people left long ago. They clicked away the moment the truth touched their wounds. They chose comfort. They chose retreat. You are still here, facing yourself. That says everything. You are transforming. Look back at the 9 truths you have walked through. Each truth is a hammer strike on the shell of weakness that bound you for years. Those blows were not meant to hurt you, but to sharpen the real core inside, a warrior born to focus, to act, to conquer. Marcus Aurelius asked himself, if not now, when? You have delayed too many times in your life, but this moment is a boundary. Cross it, and you leave behind your old self, the one yanked around by distraction, soft emotions, and fear of failure. You will put on a new identity, the one who masters attention, the one who steers fate. From now on, you are no longer a person who tries to focus. You are a person who has focus. You no longer force yourself to change, you are the change. Here lies the greatest difference between those who succeed and those who keep dreaming unfinished dreams. One lives by the identity of a warrior, the other lives by passing emotions. Remember, identity drives behavior. If you see yourself as weak, you will always choose the easy way. If you see yourself as a warrior, you will choose the hard thing, because victory belongs only to those who can endure. Starting today, you must stop saying, I swear, I will try to focus. You must say, I am a person of sharp focus. When you change the way you name yourself, you change your future. But this transformation does not happen in silence. It needs a ritual. Place your hand on your chest right now and feel your heartbeat. Each beat is a reminder. Time is passing. Each beat is proof. You still have a chance to command every second. Close your eyes for a moment. See the version of you that you want to become. Noble, disciplined, strong, focused. That person is waiting for you ahead. That person demands that you leave the old things behind. Open your eyes. Here is the oath, not for fun, but to bind your fate. From this very second, I abandon the distracted self. I choose the warrior self. I control my attention. I control my life. Repeat each line in your mind as if carving it into stone. You no longer see focus as a skill to practice. You see it as an identity to embody. You do not focus because you have to. You focus because that is who you are. People who live by the warrior identity are not allowed to live halfway. They do not make excuses. They do not wait for inspiration. They do not bargain with weakness. They know this. Every distraction is an act of self-betrayal. They protect their focus like their own life. They do the right thing even when no one is watching. They move forward even when their emotions do not support them. That is you in this moment. A viewer who reaches this point is no longer an audience member. They are a warrior in transformation. You are among the few. You are separating from the weak and the chaotic many. Look again at your goal. What once felt heavy will now become your single point of focus. What once scared you will now prove that you are on the right path. What once made you retreat will now fuel your breakthrough. Say to yourself clearly and decisively, I am not the old person anymore. If you truly believe that sentence, if you can feel the transformation happening for real, then you have stepped through a door most people never dare to touch. And just beyond that door remains one final requirement, action that maintains the new identity. We will bind this feeling together with the final part, the outro, so that you do not only change during this video, but also change in the days that follow. Part 5, outro. You have reached a boundary that most will never touch. You have stared at sharp truths without running or making excuses. You have chosen the warrior identity. And a warrior does not turn back. From the second forward, your life is split in two, before this video and after this video. Before, you allow distraction to control you. From now on, you will control it. Before, you let life drift by. From now on, you will decide every second. But the transformation means nothing if you leave here and keep living the same way. Bury the old self right now. That person no longer exists. And to protect this new, stronger self, you need one final ritual act. I want you to comment below with a clear, decisive declaration: I control my attention. This is not a throwaway line. It is proof that you have just signed a contract with yourself. It is the oath of a warrior to his or her own destiny. When you make it public, you turn discipline into responsibility. Responsibility will carry you through your hardest days. Like this video so you can return whenever your resolve shakes. Subscribe so each new video becomes a training session for your willpower. And if you know someone who is lost, share this with them. A true warrior does not fight only for himself or herself, but also lifts up those who deserve to stand strong beside them. You have come a long way today. Do not let the journey end here. Keep digging deeper. Watch the next video I placed right beside this one. 7 brutal Stoic truths to stop wasting time. It continues the road you're walking. I want to see you there, with the eyes of someone who understands the value of every second of life. Remember this: focus is not a temporary act. It is your new identity. From now on, every choice must be worthy of that title. Do not let anyone or anything take back the control you just claimed. Take a deep breath again. Lift your head. You have been reborn as a Stoic warrior. Your life begins right now.